Hey everyone, this is Ernest Spiller from Fort Hays State University Intramural and Recreation Department. Today, I will be presenting to you our online rules meeting for our flag football season this year. First off, I would like to thank everyone who has signed up to participate in our flag football league this year, and we're looking forward to having a lot of participation and a lot of fun. Okay, and the way we're going to start this rules meeting today is how to start and finish a game. To start and finish a game, you must have at least 5 players. Throughout the game, and even to start the game, you can't have up to 7 players, but you have to have at least 5 to start and finish. And to go along with our co-rec rules, you still have to have at least 5 players to start and finish, but you cannot have 4. You cannot have no more than 4 of the same gender on your team. And so when there's up to 7 players, you can have at least 4 men and 3 women, or 4 women and 3 men. But you have to have at least 5 to start and finish. Alright, moving on to our general rules. There will be no kickoffs this year in our flag football league. Every possession will be starting from after the score. Every possession will be starting from the 3-yard line, and to start a half, and the start of the game and the start of the second half will be from the 3-yard line. So there will be no kickoffs. But there will be punts and punt returns on our in our flag football league this year. When lining up for a punt, 4 linemen on both teams must be on the line of scrimmage when the ball is kicked. Alright, 4 downs will be allowed to each team to cross the first down mark or to score depending on the location of the ball or the first down. Okay, so that's essential. We will have an 80-yard field, so you have 4 downs to essentially pick up 20 yards or further depending on your situation. To either get another set of downs or to score a touchdown. Moving on, during punt, the receiving team may advance the ball even though it has touched the ground, provided the player has not fumbled or muffed the ball when trying to catch it. All other fumbles and muffs are dead balls at the fumbled spot. That's basically saying that every time other than a punt return or punt receiving, if the ball touches the ground, it's automatically dead. So there will be no fumbles, fumble recoveries to change possession. But if your team punts off and the receiving team tries to catch it and muffs it, that's a fumble. Or if the receiving team lets the ball bounce and then he is eligible and it is legal for that receiver to pick it up all the way hit the ground and to return that football. And as I said earlier, a punt may be declared by the offensive team on 4th down only, and he must declare that punt to the official so that there can be no false or fake punts going on. Moving on, interceptions and loss of downs are the only 2 possible ways for the offense to lose possession to the defense without a score being made. All muffs and fumbles are defined as dead ball, including a snap or a hike of the ball. This also includes punt situations. So if there's a bad snap that hits the ground, that ball is dead immediately, even on punts. Also during our punts, there has to be 4 men on the line of scrimmage, but you cannot rush the kicker on any of our punts just because they're declared punts, and you have to let the official know, and everyone on the field knows that it will be a punt. It is not legal to rush that punter as he is kicking the ball. Moving on to a legal snap. A snap is a legal act of passing or handing the ball backwards from its position on the ground. In a snap, the movement must be quick and continuous backward motion of the ball, during which the ball immediately leaves the hand of the snapper and touches the back or the ground before it touches any other player. What that rule is essentially saying is that you have to snap the ball to start the play, whether that's a snap that's your more traditional one that's between the legs, or that's a snap that's just going straight backwards to your side. But it has to be a continuous motion, and it has to be fluent for it to count as a snap. If one was to not have a continuous motion, that would be treated as a false start on the center and on the offense as a whole. One rule that's different this year from our past rules of flag football is that there will be a limit of 2 forward passes on each possession, including punt returns. And that's a little bit different from our rules that we've had in the past. It used to be a rule. It used to be that there are unlimited passes per team, but this year it will only be 2 forward passes allowed. And that's in our men's and women's league. All right, and when it goes into difference for that is when it goes into co-rec league, you have unlimited passes when you're passing to a female student, but you have 2 forward passes when you're passing to a male student. I repeat, so when you're playing co-rec, you have unlimited passes to a female student, but if that passes to a male student, you only have 2 forward passes to a male student. But in our other leagues, our men's league and our women's league, you have a limit of 2 forward passes. Alright. Alright, and discussing that, this is flag football, so the ball will be declared dead at the original line of scrimmage after any pass or passes which are thrown from behind the line of scrimmage which fall incomplete. And also the ball will be declared dead when an opposing player removes the flag from the offensive player's belt. And that player, instead of a tackle, that player is declared down when that flag is removed from his belt. There will be absolutely no diving in our flag football league this year. No defensive or offensive player should leave his feet in a head first motion to make a play on any player or the ball. This also includes purposely sliding to get an advantage on the field. Falling and slipping are based on the discretion of the officials. Aggressive touching and bull rushing of any players is prohibited. These acts will be treated as unnecessary roughness and penalized accordingly. Only upright body blocking with the arms extended between the shoulders will be allowed by offensive teams on the line of scrimmage or in the offensive backfield. But down the field, blocking must be upright screen blocking with no body contact. You must not leave your feet to block at any time. A defensive player it is the defensive player's responsibility to go around any of these blocks that are downfield where no contact should be made. Bull rushing. Any player that deliberately runs through a player to get to the ball. This is prohibited. This includes plays inside or outside of the tackle box. Any hitting with the forearm is prohibited by both offensive and defensive players. And then, like I said earlier, a fumbled ball is dead when it is fumbled, and it belongs to which team fumbled it. Unless it was 4th down, then that would be a turnover on downs and be going the other way, and will award the other team the ball. No metal cleats this year in our football leagues. That's a safety and precautionary reason. And no players will be able to participate bare feet. So you have to have some type of closed shoes in, whether those gym shoes or cleats, but you are allowed to wear cleats as long as they're not metal. All the other rules that are not provided in our handbook will be provided in Kansas State High School Activities Association. So KSHA will be our guiding force behind any rules that are not covered in our own handbook. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the time limits and timeouts of the game. Each half will consist of 16 minute long halves, with the clock only being stopped for timeouts or timeouts taken by the official. Each team is allowed 2 1-minute timeouts per half. The last 2 minutes will be played by regular KSHA rules in regards to time, if the score is within 6 points or less. So if the score is within 6 points or less, regular KSHA rules will be enforced in the last 2 minutes as far as starting and stopping the clock. Moving on, 7 points will be given to the opposing team if a team is late. If a team is late by more than 10 minutes, that game will be a forfeit, with the resulting score being 21-0. This is an exception for those who are late because of another game, another intramural flag football game that's scheduled right before that. If you're late because of another flag football game, then none of these penalties apply to you. But if you are late and it's under 10 minutes, the other team will be given a 7-point advantage, and if it's more than 10 minutes, it's automatic forfeit. All right, so we're gonna move on to our scoring. A try for a point after a touchdown must be made by passing or running. A passing point after touchdown is worth 1 point. A running pass, a running PAT are worth 2 points. Touchdowns are worth 6 points, and safeties are worth 2 points. We do have a mercy rule. If a team leads by 40 or more points after completion of the first half, that game will be called because of our mercy rule. Alright, now we're going to move on to conduct and the resulting penalties for each one of those different conducts. For less than 4 men on the defensive line of scrimmage on 4th down, when a punt is declared, that is a 5-yard penalty. For leaving feet in covering or attempting to cover a fumble, that is a 15-yard penalty. A slip or a dive is different, but that is at the discretion of an official on the field. For blocking using other than an upright body block, that is a 15-yard penalty, as discussed earlier. It is the defensive player's responsibility to go around the offensive player who's blocking without using his hands. For unnecessary roughness in touching a ball carrier using hands or in blocking or bull rushing, that will result in a 15-yard penalty. For flagrant roughness, that could result in disqualification and a half a distance to the goal. For leaving feet in making a touch or block, 15-yard penalty. For flagrant roughness or any of the above, disqualification and half distance to the goal. For wedge blocking, that will be a 15-yard penalty. Pass interference on the offensive team, 15 yards and loss of down from the previous spot. Defensive pass interference, 15 yards and automatic first down from previous spot. For use of profane and abusive language, first occurrence, that is 15 yards. The second occurrence is that's disqualification and half the distance to the goal. Because this is flag football league in a way to stop a runner from advancing is to pull their flag. Flag guarding is also a 10-yard penalty. Flag guarding is the use by the offensive player or forearm or hand to prevent the defensive player from pulling their flag. Flag guard would be a sweeping action below shoulder levels. A stiff arm would be using a rigid arm at or above shoulder level. So no flag guard. Flag guard would be a result of a 10-yard penalty if an official deems necessary. Diving for the ball by the offense is a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and a loss of down. So like I said earlier, there will be absolutely no diving in our flag football league this year. These rules that we have put in place for our flag football league this year is so that every participant can be more involved and have more fun, but also to keep everyone safe. We want to enforce as least penalties as possible. We really want you all to have the best time that you possibly can out there while you participate in our league. But these are the things that we're looking out for, and as the captains of your team, you are expected to relay this information to the rest of your teammates. If there are any more questions regarding our rules of our flag football league this year, feel free to come by our office at Cunningham 111 or call us on the phone. We'll be happy to help in any way that we can. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to review this, and good luck on the rest of your season.